justice for all.
Motion to approve the minutes of March 9th, 2017, Manistee Township Board.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll support
It's
that.
been moved and supported that the minutes from the March 9th, 2017 Manistee Township Board meeting be accepted, placed on file. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Carried. Thank you. Treasurer's report. We received your treasurer's report. What's your wishes?
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented.
A second.
Been moved and supported that the treasurer's report be accepted, placed on file. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. None opposed? Carried. Let's see, March 2nd, Planning Commission meeting minutes.
Any questions?
Any questions? If not, place it on file. No correspondence. Anybody to bring anything before the board at this time? Mr. Jeff Dotz, anything for us, sir?
Well, I'll give you a quick rundown on some stuff. John heard a lot of this morning, if not all of it, but at any rate, I'll give you a quick update. We're installing new cameras at the courthouse, both inside and outside. They're high-resolution cameras. The cameras we had, when you had to zoom in, really didn't accomplish what was needed, if it was needed. So that's an update that's going on. Something that we've been working on for a number of months, and that is audio-video recording is going to be done in the courts now. So that's a step forward. That's something I've also reported to you over several times, and that is the regional medical examiner is in place between Manistee and Benzie County. Autopsies will be done at Benzie County at one of the funeral homes. That's not unusual for small rural counties. We do not have one in our county, but it's a lot better than having to take people down to Grand Rapids for an autopsy. So it's going to save some dollars and cents there. That wasn't the real intent. It was to be a little more efficient. And Ms. Goslinowski does a very good job from what I'm told. The county has entered into had to get a new gas purchase agreement for natural gas. So since the hospital is no longer involved with us, that's why we had to do that. So that's been put into play. The Jaws truck that was sold a couple of months ago for about $65,000, which we have $58,500 of after the commission for the sale, has been distributed to the Manistee County Firefighters Association for heavy lift equipment to be distributed throughout the county. So that's moving forward. At our annual renewal of the USDA Forest Service contract, September 21st is our regional summit in Stronach Township. This month is County Government Month, and mentioning that because we're getting through it quite fast. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Senator Boer will be in the commissioner's room at the courthouse for coffee and questions. Central Dispatch 911 is going to be distributing about $110,000 worth of equipment out to the numerous township fire departments. Something I've mentioned in the past, started the conversation in regard to county zoning. Mr. Carson has sent a letter out to the townships in regard to that, and we're hoping to be on the docket for the May Manistee Township Association annual dinner up in Bear Lake and have a little more thorough discussion in regard to that. And let's see here, as I mentioned, West Shore is no longer part of the county. It's been taken over officially by Munson. We signed a contract on that, I think about 2 weeks ago. Something that's just popped up recently, I say recently, it was actually signed into law in 2013, is indigent defense. There was a survey that was done in 10 counties in the state, and all 10 counties came in deficient in regard to indigent defense. So that's for the court system with, you know, the folks that cannot afford a lawyer. We have to supply them with adequate representation. We had a meeting 2 days ago, or yesterday actually, I think it was, in regard to that with Judge Thompson and a number of his staff, and also from the state in regard to that. It's going to be a bit of a pain, with a lot of help from the court system and some templates from possibly Chippewa County and Huron County, because those are the only two that have anything at the moment. Give us a little something to look at, and we'll have to be pursuing that. So the state has to fund it, anything above and beyond what you were paying, but you know how that goes. There is some concern at AES with funding. Right now, the city council is going through their budget process, and there's some concerns. Hopefully they will renew it. We have a 1/3, 2/3 agreement that we had in place for the last 3 years that we're still in. We're in the 3rd year. Hopefully that stays in place, but if you know any of our city council members, if you feel like-minded that AES does valuable work for the county and the area, by all means, please share your thoughts with them. Airport funding. Once again, the Essential Air Service is on the chopping block. And we have relatively active for a small rural airport for employments. I hate to see us lose that. Maybe Senator Peters will be able to accomplish something on that front. But John and I were both at a trails meeting last week, trying to figure out a way to get from basically into town from the casino. So we planted some seeds on that. They believe they've got 2 other paths that are not going to be that difficult to get in from the Calaveras area, either in towards Onekama or into Manistee. But this is kind of, because everybody was kind of putting their eggs on the Zimmerman Trail basket going up the railroad grade, and that's not going to happen. So that's a dead issue, so we'll see where that goes. We just completed our strategic plan review this 2 days ago. That was a 3-meeting process. We've got a couple of new commissioners on board, and they're both very good and inquisitive, and attending tons of meetings. And but anyways, that's behind us now. Something else happening in Lansing. Senator Brewer's on a committee, and that committee voted 4-1 in regards to the pre-Labor Day school start. You know, up in this neck of the woods, we tend to be against it because of youth having jobs and trying to keep those services going until after Labor Day. So anyways, our side of the fence tends to be against it. We're downstate, they tend to be for it. I guess that is, oh, the one other thing that I would mention is I will not be here next month because it's in conflict with another meeting. So you guys will be meeting on the 11th, I'm guessing, huh? The usual. So I apologize for that tardiness already, or delinquency, I should say.
If there's something earth-shattering, Jeff.
Yeah, I'll get with you. But that's, I think, about it for me. I don't know if you guys got any questions.
Questions?
Yes.
I'm going to buy it too fast. You said the Forest Service and the county have a contract?
It's the contract is in regards to patrolling with the sheriff's department.
Okay.
For like parking lots, that kind of thing.
Cameras in the courtroom, are they going to broadcast
No,
courtroom procedures?
no,
Just
not currently. This is just this
recording purposes?
exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
And when does that begin?
I don't have a solid answer for you on that. I'm not so sure. I'm not sure if it started yet or not. We did work out with the help of Jill, our county clerk, Jill Novak. You know, her staff is getting trained, and there's a little bit of process involved in that because they've got to be able to dot the i's and cross the t's also.
Let me ask you about AES funding. You said 1/3, 2/3?
That's for the
Who
county.
pays?
The county pays 2/3, and that's been something that's
The
kind of been in
city pays
place,
one?
and the city pays 1/3.
Okay.
That's from within the county boundaries. Now, they have started work for Benzie County, and they've also started work with Wexford County, and those are defined budgets of what they get, at least in Wexford County. Benzie County, I'm not so sure. I will tell you, everything is not perfect with AES, but AES does a lot of work for the area, and we receive a lot of grant funding at a minimum, let alone all the planning that comes out of it, you know.
Well, that's where I was headed with my comment. It seems like the county planning department ought to be doing the planning, and AES ought to be doing economic development.
And
If there's planning involved in economic development, I understand, but they seem to step on the county planning department's toes a lot.
And I think that's going to evolve, and I can tell you Commissioner Bergstrom has that concern about, you know, you can have plan after plan after plan. It's about retention and attracting new.
Okay.
And we've got, there's, like I said, there's a few things I think we need to get ironed out with AES, but I think overall, the overall is
Yes.
pretty darn good. I know with the city, in the 9 years that AES has been put into place, since the MECA or EDO, whatever it was that was preceded it, the city's received $3 million in funding through different various grants with, I think about 400,000 and a few on top of that. So they've received 70% return on their investment.
And can you tell me, on the zoning, your concept of where you're headed with county zoning?
It's nothing more than that at the moment as a concept, you know, and I can tell you that Tamara and Rob Carson, Tamara Boswinka and Rob Carson have both met with Mason County to see how they manage their zoning. To try, you know, again, you don't need to reinvent the wheel, but it's something that's we're gonna have to work it out if we get to that point even with the townships. What do the townships want to have done for that? And how do we go about it? You know, what I see it is a tool for economic development because it goes towards a little more of that one-stop shopping, but there's gonna have to be reporting done, obviously, to the townships. By economy of scale, it's got to be cheaper if everybody was involved in it than every individual township having their own zoning because it's not cheap.
Who's pushing that wheel and why?
I'm the one who started the dialogue in regard to county zoning. I think it's time to go down that road.
So we'd have one ordinance for the whole county? With different districts, of course.
Yeah. I mean, the thing of it is, if you get language that is the same, I mean, you don't need to have, if you have 3 challenges on the same ordinance, you don't need to have 3 different lawyer opinions. You know, I mean, those are some of the things that you save on.
Well, isn't that part of what the meeting we went to yesterday?
Yeah, what they were saying was
Coordinating all the master plans and.
Well, the part I think that's relevant is they said that most people's zoning ordinances, other than how they name their zoning districts, the dimensional requirements for setbacks and height requirements and stuff are
Pretty much the same.
pretty much the same countywide. So it might be a few feet here, a few feet there, but
Is bigger better? That's a question. County versus township.
I don't know. I don't have an opinion. I think local's better, but
Well, the thing of it is, again, you can have this discussion regarding county government and township government. And, you know, it's getting tougher and tougher to get people to serve in these capacities
that's
also.
what I was just going to say.
And the age of everybody that's involved in this stuff, our
That
county
age thing.
our county is aging, whether you want to recognize it or not, and the people that serve in this capacity is aging.
What?
And,
Yeah.
you know, we're having the exact same problem with the firefighters. You know, we're having less and less people involved in the process because of all the requirements that go along with it and the responsibilities that fall into place with it. You know what I mean? You keep in mind where the township started from, and if you had a piece of white paper today and you wanted to start a whole new system, would you do that 6 mile by 6 mile square? And if you would, why would you?
Well, I think the concern, at least my concern would be, is that you lose a handle on
control.
Yeah.
You know, the thing of it is, it's only gonna be as good as the people you got in charge of it. I don't wanna be in a situation where the county is trying to dictate zoning, because in this state, township zoning reigns supreme. And if you go to, you know, and if you have to have an out, and if you get people who abuse it or are very authoritarian, and the people in the townships don't like that, and the people in the county, whatever, you've gotta have an out. There's gotta be a little bit of a hammer there. I don't wanna see anybody getting pushed into it. I wanna see it pulled along because it makes logical sense in the process. And again, I mean, we've got 14 townships, we've got 14 supervisors, we've got 14 clerks, we've got how many trustees? And it just gets harder and harder and harder to fill these slots as time goes on. You got how many zoning boards, how many zoning boards of appeals, and on we go.
My vote would be to keep it local.
Well,
For
this is-
personal reasons.
Yeah, this is a long,
No, this is just
long
the
road to
beginning,
hoe for
yeah.
that, yeah.
Yeah,
This is
but I
just a
can
very
think of a whole lot of
infancy.
reasons why I
Yeah.
want it local.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions for John? Thanks, sir. Mr. Fina?
Well, in our zoning office, we've had no new written complaints this month. The one at Wesco's ongoing, that, of course, last week Friday when I wasn't here, or Thursday, they adjusted that light. And they adjusted the wrong one.
You sent him a picture, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't think the contractor got the photograph, so. Anyway, he said he'd fix it next week. He's gonna be back in the area. Had 3 receipts, one for a garage addition to a home, one for all this change of signs out at West Shore to Munson hospitals, and one for an accessory building out on Bar Lake Road. I'm still pursuing local enforcement of construction code, state construction codes, building, electrical, plumbing, mechanical.
That issue was also gonna be on the agenda for the MTA dinner meeting.
Is it?
It'll be a long evening, yeah.
Okay.
My understanding it is.
The Planning Commission, I got the sign amendment draft out to everybody. But I was informed last week at MTA that the state, in cooperation with MTA and some other people, are putting together a model sign regulation that'll be out by the end of June, they assured us. So our planning commission decided to wait until that came out to make sure they didn't miss anything in the amendment they wanted to make. Access management, I've got a meeting next week with the county planner to get that rolling again in US 31 corridor. And the planning commission also voted to ask the board to budget for a new to work on a new master plan for this year coming up. So,
Any questions for Guy? Thank you, sir. Chuck, anything going on across the street?
Sure is. For March, there was a total of 25 activities that were recorded. 4 fire-related, 17 medical, and then 14 meeting station training activities. Total complaint hours for all those were 30 hours. The chief and officers had about 46 hours for the month. Over at the station, the siren had been removed. About 20 years ago, I guess the brushes were bad on it. We took it down, and the brushes are bad on it again. So we got the brushes replaced. Jim Edmondson took care of that, and also give it a fresh coat of paint. So that should be going up back soon. We got working on working on 2 bids for the connexes over there for the training facility. I've got one in the process and another one almost complete. It's taken a while, but it's all coming together eventually. For equipment, the new SCBA's are on order. They should be arriving around the 3rd week of May. I'll have more information on that, because we'll have to pack up our old stuff ship it back. As far as apparatus, all the DOT inspections are complete except the ladder. We had to schedule a time to have the technician come and tilt the cab because there was needed to tighten the belts and get underneath. And you gotta raise the ladder and tilt the cab. He couldn't do that himself. And in that process, he found an air leak, a couple air leaks. He fixed one of them and he has the part in. He was over there the other day and I just gotta schedule a time to meet with him again. It shouldn't take too long to put it back together. It's still in service. He capped the line that he took off to get the part. 132 needed a fuel pump as the old one was leaking. 137 has had some work done on the pump motor, but it still doesn't want to stay running unless you keep priming it. So we're looking at maybe putting an auxiliary tank around it. We've always had problems with it. So it gravity feeds. Right now it's running from the existing tank. It doesn't seem to work too well.
What is that, portable pump?
Yeah, the back of the brush truck. So it draws from the tank and doesn't work. You don't need anybody back there priming it when you're trying to put out a fire. They had to do that the other day up at that 4-acre fire they had up the other day. You had to stand back there and keep pumping it, so it's not good. 131 has that leaking pump. I put a call in, haven't heard back to see when he can. It's probably a packing as it usually is, but this time it's a little steadier than it has been in the past. As far as personnel, we started a recruitment thing on Facebook and been putting stuff up there about every 2 to 3 weeks with a fresh picture and some information. And they've been getting some good feedback. We've gotten one person that was interested. They haven't come by, and the second person that was interested, they've stopped by. So it seems to be getting the word out. We did go to a recruitment and retention seminar over at the Soaring Eagle Casino that was put on by the Northern Michigan Fire Chiefs Association. And, you know, there was no magic answer for recruitment and retention to give us. I got a bunch of ideas, took down some notes, and we have somewhat of a plan in place for our probationary program, so that's good. So, but he gave us some good ideas, so we'll be putting together a little bit better, organizing a little bit better. So when people ask questions, we have answers for them right away. You know, how many hours a week are you looking at? You know, how many hours? Somebody might have 6 to 8 hours a week. Yeah, that's great. You know, just put it down in an orderly fashion. He was interested. He talked about countywide ordinance. We talked before about around the lake with the fire departments being so close to each other, but I've seen it in different states where they have countywide fire departments.
Mason County has one. Mason County has a fire district, the county.
Yeah, they have two. It's a little different. There's different states that have basically the whole county is one countywide fire department, and each department has a battalion chief. So you might be able to set that up even with zoning. You'd have each township would have their own representative. So that's something to think about. But it works. It takes some time. It's a big process. Matt Cross completed his EMR course. He was did really well on his course, so that's a good addition to have. The fire training's been going well at the station, and we do have a mass casualty incident training along with the airport simulator training. Simulator training is May 19th, the mass casualty training is Saturday the 20th. That'll take up quite a few departments' time, Filer, Stronach, East Lake, the city, Onekama, and Munson, where are they? M&M, Munson Medical. What do they call themselves now? They'll be there.
Munson, Manistee.
Munson, Manistee, M&M. So, you can't get used to that yet. I always want to say West Shore. And actually tomorrow morning we have a meeting with the new EOC, Brian Gutowski, at the EOC to discuss
EOC.
Emergency Operations
Sheriff's
Center.
Department.
That's the one, the
Emergency
Operations Center
Okay.
at the Sheriff's Department. He took,
Can fall.
Ken Falk, yeah, under sheriff now, he took his place. So. I got a letter the other day from the Little River Band of Ottawa Indians, a tribe there. They're going to be doing water tower maintenance on May 15th. Could last 3 to 5 days. So that's interesting, that timing, because usually at the airport exercise, we would use tribes, hydrants, and also the cities. So that might affect that training. So I'll keep an eye on that, because we can't be pulling water from our hydrants if you're doing maintenance. And then for Manistee Township residents, if you're going to be doing a controlled burn or burning your brush, burn permits, you call the 231-690-5329, or if you call the township office here. But folks that look on the website, the state's website, which is www.dnr.state.mi.us. Burn permits, you can see on that website if they're even open that day. It tells you up on the left if the town, if the county's, it's either yellow or brown. If it's brown, don't even bother calling. But when people look on that site, for some reason, they always call the number, even if they're from out of county or in the county. We get all kinds of random calls, and it's like, that's only for Manistee Township and Filer Township. Other than that, that's the only reason you need to be calling, so. They update it about every 15 minutes, but by 10 o'clock each day is the final update.
How does that information get to 911?
911 can just pull up the website and look at it.
Oh, no, what I mean,
Oh, the
someone gets on a website, finds out it's okay to burn, so they go underneath, touch one off. A lot of smoke, somebody driving by with their cell phone calls 911. They're not, are they aware? They're not aware.
911 would call that area fire department. That's why we would like burn permits, because then we know that where it's at. So when we have that 4666 address, he usually gets burn permits, and he wasn't supposed to be burning that day. So they would know that that was someone burning debris or something like that, so they wouldn't tone out the department. They might call one of us to go check on it,
Yeah.
but they wouldn't hit the tones, and then everybody goes to something that's just a...
So is there some merit to ask the residents of Manistee Township to call the 510 number?
Yeah, the 510 number,
690.
690 number,
What is it?
690. That's Dan Laskey's.
Yeah, what is it, 690?
5329. And it's primarily on the website. It is the township number because that number is always going to be that number. And in the past, it was John's number. People kept calling afterwards. It was hard to get that switched over. So if Dan isn't able to do it, they would still call here, and then we would direct them to call. So
Are we confident that that's the number that, if somebody calls Central Dispatch, what does Central Dispatch tell them?
if someone
Say it's the
random-
weekend and Dan's not available. Nobody's here at the township hall, call the dispatch yourself.
they shouldn't call dispatch directly because dispatch gets a lot of random calls for some crazy
I
stuff.
know, but it does happen, Chuck.
It does happen, but they shouldn't call. If they can't get a hold of Dan, and no one's here at the township, they should just wait.
I don't think Central Dispatch has Dan's number.
Well, they should have Dan's number. He's calling them all the time.
'Cause- Okay.
I mean,
I'll follow up on it and see
okay.
what number they do have.
Okay.
Because we ran into that last week, someone, call here, well, here's the number to call.
But you can look on the website, and depending on the weather, if you look on the website and our whole county's brown, they're not issuing them. So, and we can't supersede the state. The state sets the standard, so we can't go above and beyond that. Sometimes we're so far south that I can call Steve Cameron out of Traverse City, and he'll call me and ask me what I think of it down here, and I said, well, we got some rain here or something like that, but he has weather stations around that he gauges, so they're pretty accurate. Sometimes there's different circumstances, but not too often. And then, yeah, that's all I got. I think that's all I got.
Any questions?
Double check that number.
Thanks, Chuck. Liquor inspector, there are no significant changes. Spring is in the air, so I anticipate soon that the two businesses will be firing up shortly. The only other report I have is the revenue sharing board. Verbal presentation has already taken place this week, and the awarded grants will take place on the 12th of June here at the Township Hall at 5 o'clock. Business to attend to. You're asked to turn in your MTA meeting reservations for the dinner meeting on
May 24th, 22nd.
10th of May anyhow. While she's doing that, comment that I have is our garbage recycling is being abused once more. Over 2.5 yards of trash was taken out of one of the recycling bins over there. We have names. Well, this isn't a threat, but if this continues, it would be my desire to discontinue the recycling completely.
How about armed guards?
You want to volunteer?
No, armed guards, you know.
Armed guards.
Yeah, that's what I said. You want to volunteer?
Yeah.
You know, and it's not just here, I think that happens all over.
No, they have had it in 2 places, once in Onecum a couple of times, then up when they used to have a recycle station up. I don't know if it was in Cleon, I wanna say, somewhere. around
Springdale.
there. Maybe it was Springdale.
Moved it to Pleasanton.
Just like, yeah,
That's been my take on that, Dennis, for a long time.
Yeah, I know. But that's a FYI. The MTA dinner meeting is May 24th. And that's in Berlin, correct? At the Lutheran Church?
At the Methodist Church.
Methodist Church.
And what is it, 24th, Thursday,
Wednesday.
Wednesday? And the deadline for the reservations is yesterday?
It's actually the 16th of May, but
Oh,
I need enough time to get them there too.
okay.
So please check your calendars and fill out your reservation and turn them back in. So I can send money and you can eat well
And listen well.
and listen well, yes.
look who you're talking to.
That's, in essence, all that we have. Anybody have anything else? Motion to approve the bills for April?
Oh, that'd be good.
I'll make motion to allow the bills paid as presented and incoming bills be paid as well. Shouldn't be many that,
I'll second that. Yeah, we're late in the month.
yeah.
It's been moved, supported that we pay our bills. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Carried. Manistee County MTA will meet Wednesday, April 26th at the Cleon Township Hall. Zoning Board of Appeals, if there is one, will meet May 2nd here at the hall, 7 p.m. Now, there is an election for Onecum School proposals. That'll be here May 2nd as well, from 7 a.m. till 8 p.m. And I believe you've got that rolling along.
Oh, we're working on it.
Manistee Township Planning Commission meeting will be Thursday, May 4th, 7 p.m. here at the hall. Bar Lake Improvement Board will meet Monday, June 5th, here at the hall. The next regular meeting of the Manistee Township Board will be here Thursday, May 11th, 7 p.m. here at the hall. Anything to report on the Bar Lake meeting? I guess I forgot you guys had a meeting. That was the first one in the spring, right?
Really wasn't much went on. It's too cold
Okay.
to do the annual survey of the lake to see if there's any invasive species left, you know, so.
The big thing is the seat that Charlie Gann sits in is up. We extended it to the next meeting, and then the association is gonna try to round up,
Recommend,
you know,
yeah.
try to have a slate of maybe up to 3 for the board to choose
Okay.
who to fill that seat.
Public comment?
Is it May 13th, trash day?
Yes.
Good one.
Saturday, May 13th.
Saturday, May 13th is our annual treasure collection.
Clean out the treasures before
Treasures.
Mother's Day.
Yeah.
That'll be here before you know it.
Yes, you're right, Chuck. The only other comment that I might add, anybody that's watching, listening, or knows of anybody that would like to get involved in their township, please step forward. We have room on different committees, boards, whatever. pass the word. If you would, please. Any other comment? Motion's in order.
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
Been moved, supported, we adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, none opposed. Thank you very much.